Hello and welcome to the Little Captain's Learning Lab. My name is Kelsey Stiles and I am your featured teacher for today. I am currently a third grade teacher at Rolling Ridge Elementary in Sterling, Virginia. I graduated from the MAT program in the spring of 2016. Today we're going to be working on one of my students' favorite skills, multiplication. Growing up, I remember having to memorize multiplication facts. We did flashcards and we wrote out the facts frequently. We even did those charts, multiplication charts. While fact memorization is still a helpful tool for students, it's important to remember that there's actually 4 models we use to teach multiplication so that students actually understand that process before they start memorizing those facts. Today, I want to help your family review those models of multiplication using things that you could find in your house. This is a great time for students to see how we can find math in almost everything around us. The first model I want to practice today with you is the set model, sometimes called the equal groups model. This is the first model we often teach to students because it's one of the easier ones and it's easiest to practice as well. To practice the set model today, you will need to find multiple objects that are the same. You might want to use Legos or goldfish or even scraps of paper. Today I'm going to use goldfish for my example. Okay, so the first model of multiplication that I said we're going to practice today is the set model of multiplication. So for this model, you're going to need, again, some objects that are the same, like Legos or a snack food. And you might want a paper towel as well. If you're going to practice this with a student, you could either have them create equal groups for you and then write the multiplication problem, or you could do this. You could start by writing the multiplication fact and have them work out what that model would look like. So I'm going to start with something pretty straightforward. We'll just do 4 times 3. And in the set model of multiplication, or the equal group model, you could call it either one, we would say that this is 4 groups of 3. So I would start by drawing 4 groups. And I'm just doing this right on the paper towel. And then I'm going to put 3 goldfish in each group so that I have 4 groups of 3 goldfish. So I'll put 1, then 2, and then 3. So this is 4 groups of 3. And to find the answer to this, I would just add up all of my goldfish. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know now that 4 times 3 equals 12. And again, this is the set model, often known as equal groups, because we have 4 equal groups here. The second model I like to teach is the number line model. For this one, I would consider getting outside and using some chalk and actually jumping. However, I'm going to show you on paper today. So for the number line model, you can draw a number line. You can also find a couple blank templates online if you don't want to draw it, but they're not the worst things to draw, and you don't have to make them perfect as long as these are decently evenly spaced. So for the number line model, and again, I would really encourage you to maybe go outside and do this with chalk and have students actually do some hopping. But what you're going to do is you're going to look at this as 3 jumps of 2. So for the number line model, I would be making 3 jumps total, and each jump would have to be 2 each. So I would jump like this. I would go from 0 to 2. I would jump from 2 to 4, and then I would jump from 4 to 6. And since I have 3 jumps of 2, I know that my answer is 6. So I would encourage you to get outside and to maybe draw some of these jumps and have students actually hop from one place to another, because we do like to call these jumps on a number line. And it's way more fun when you can get outside and actually do the jumps yourself. And the third model is the array model. It's all about lining up items in rows and columns. For this model, I'm going to use a muffin tin for one example and some bowls as another example. So one of my favorite ways to show the array model is by using a muffin tin. I like it because it's not quite the area model that I'll show you later, but it is set up nice and neat for students to really be able to see those rows and columns. So rows and columns can be challenging, but rows go this way. I always tell students that it's how they're like sitting in rows on a carpet, and then columns hold up buildings, which we definitely know from our background at CNU. But you have 3 rows here, so this would be 3, and then you have 4 columns times 4, and then students could just count how many total muffin tins there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 times 4 is 12. This is a really good time to talk about the fact that we do talk to 3rd graders about how this could also be 4 times 3 equals 12. If we switch these two numbers, the answer is still the same. However, when you are talking about the multiplication models, you want to make sure that students are doing things in a correct order. So 3 rows and 4 columns equals the total amount here. Another great way to show the array model is for students to just make them themselves. So I'm going to use some bowls that I have, and I'm going to make 2 rows with 2 bowls in each row. So this would be 2 times 2, which equals 4, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 bowls. You could really do this with any different objects you have in your house. And finally, we have the area model, which also involves rows and columns, but it helps students get ready for when they actually learn how the area of a rectangle works. For this activity, I would grab some sticky notes. Sticky notes are so fun and they're easy to move, and kids just love them. Okay, so there are actually a lot of things you can use sticky notes for when teaching, but today I want to show you how to use them for the area model of multiplication. So the area model is really similar to the array model. You're going to use rows and columns. So this example problem would be 2 rows and 4 columns. However, you are going to put them in more of a box format with equal sized boxes so that you can see the area of a rectangle. So for this example, I would make 2 rows of sticky notes with 4 sticky notes in each row. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now, since we counted our sticky notes, we know that 2 times 4 is 8. So we have our answer to that multiplication problem. You could even have students count them by writing on them like this. I also love this because it really teaches students the area. So if we had a rectangle like this, we know now that the area of this rectangle is 8 sticky notes. If you're looking for additional resources to help with math during this time, I would check out Prodigy Math and Reflex Math. Prodigy Math is great for practicing math skills, and Reflex Math is great for practicing those quick math facts. Thanks for tuning in today. Bye!